Hello everyone, welcome to Manifest Without Money. What are you expecting today? Because whatever you expect, that's exactly what you're going to receive. I want to bring you my understanding when it comes to living in the end. If you watch my previous video, I talked about how in the world there's two kinds of people, because there's two sides of the law. One gives and one takes away. One gives and the other one receives. You trespass the law in your city, you drive over 60 miles an hour, you're giving your money away and they receive your money. There's always an exchange. But that exchange happens by law. Some break the law, some obey the law. To live in the end is to obey the law, meaning is to hold on to what it is you want. To hold on to what it is you want is to be grateful for it. When people are not grateful for what they want, they're saying, I'm not appreciating this. I don't spend time with this person. I don't appreciate my money. I don't care if I have money or not. Well, that very thing leaves your life or never comes to you. So to live in the end, for me, it means that if I lift my desire to the point of vision or imagination and I see it, it means that I placed myself into the place of receiving. Someone is ready to give that away. The reason in my business, I talk about SRCW, the program, how to seal, release, and collect your wealth. You see, in business, there's a lot of competition. The mentality, the mindset is that of competition. There's no competition, as you all know. But that's the advantage that we have as business consultants and high performance mentors in business. Okay, we come in with the right mindset and then we shift them and we change business around. So law of attraction, law of manifestation coaches are very good. They would be very good in business. So what I'm saying to you is this: when we live in the end, we must have this understanding that the law comes with reward and consequence. Somebody will always suffer the consequence and somebody will always receive the reward. Now, if you're not aware that the law in your state says, hey, don't drive 60 miles an hour, it does not mean that you are not going to be subjected to the same law. If you're 90 years old and say, well, I couldn't see the sign or whatever, it doesn't matter. As long as you're a human being, you are subjected under the same law. So what it's saying is that either you know about this law or not, that there's two sides to everything. Some are givers and some are takers, or meaning some are givers and some are receivers. Then you have to understand which end of the law do I want to live in. To give away is to think that you don't have. To give away is to think that you don't have. I'm lacking it. It's so hard to get it back. To be on the right side of the law is to say, I have it. I appreciate it. I love it. I admire it. I can't wait to have more of it. Some are givers and some are receivers. And when we look at specific person, I'm thinking about which direction to go because I have so many manifestation personal stories. When you think about what is it that I want? What is it that I want? What you're saying is, what would I like to receive? What would I like to receive? So I want you to think about it in this way. What would I like to receive? What would I like to receive? Don't say, I don't have it, because you're operating on the wrong end of the law. You're going to give more than you have, because to him that he has, more will be given. To him that he doesn't, even that which he thinks he has will be taken away. What would I like? Always focus on what you have and focus on what it is you would like to have. When you focus that what you would like to have to the point of vision or imagination, you have already received it. Because you projected it out, and there's someone across the ocean or in the country, in the city, that's ready to let go of it. It's coming to you. Your job now is to be persistent in that imaginal place, in that imagination. How do you do that? You can continue to visualize throughout the day, or you can go into the place of gratitude. But gratitude itself, it's building yourself up on the emotional ladder to always bring you up into that imaginal act. And so gratitude now, it's only focusing on the benefits of the SP, the benefits of him being back, the benefits of her being back. Oh, wow. And we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and I'm going to say this, and she's going to say that, and I'm going to do this, and it's going to be like this. Involve your five senses. I'm not saying look at everything right now through the five senses. I'm saying, what would your five senses, what would you like your five senses to experience? That's how you gratitude. You ask your five senses and say, now lips, what would you like to taste? Mouth, what would you like to taste, right? Lips, what would you like to kiss? Mouth, what would you like to taste? Ears, what would you like to hear? That's gratitude. That's gratitude, right? You wouldn't say, well, I want to eat sour worms. I don't know where that came from. I guess I thought of those sour candy. No, you would always give yourself the good. You will always give yourself a good answer. But you have not because you ask not. And so always ask yourself, well, what would I like? What would I like to receive? Because I know somebody out there is ready to give it away, is not appreciating it. Let's take this into the context of an SP. Let's say you are with a third party. Well, it doesn't matter if they're with someone else. They may not appreciate her or him, but you in your mind, now, you begin to appreciate them. That's how you bring them back, right? That's how you live in the end. Now you say, you know what? I didn't appreciate him or her when they were doing that. Or that's going back, right? I remember when he or she. That's how I've attracted my SP back. So I would go back and remember all the good that I did not appreciate. I was calling it out. And because I was calling it out, I was projecting it on his mirror, on the mirror of his mind. It began to come alive in him. And all of a sudden, his thoughts were, I like Luminita. I want to be back with Luminita. And so there was no third party anymore. I never worried about the third party. Only I worried about them. I called them in through my fear and worry. But then when I wanted to attract my SV back, I went back and I remembered and I said, I remember when he was kind and gentle and loving, and he did this and he said that. I've allowed myself to be taken into the place of imagination. I lifted him up. You see, I lifted my desire, or I lifted him, my SP up. I lifted them up. Sometimes I think we have the tendency to think that we put them on a pedestal. I think we lose them because we don't appreciate them. To be honest with you, I believe that's the reason we lost them, because we did not appreciate them. And in my personal cases, that's how it usually happens. I don't appreciate, meaning I don't find something good in them. It doesn't mean there's no good, because that third party saw something good. And so they came and took them away from you. Or sometimes your SP chose to walk away because he did not feel appreciated. So that's why breakages happens, because of loss of appreciation. What you appreciate appreciates. And so now when you want to attract them back by living in the end, is by looking and searching. I remember when we were like this. I remember when we were like that. Love comes in. Gratitude comes in. Puts you into the place of letting go and waiting. And something has to happen. Okay? How can you fear your desire? A lot of people are anxious, fearful, and worried through the process of creation manifestation. How can you have fear and love at the same time? You can't. Love casts out all fear. And so if you're afraid if they're coming back or not, it's because you have not filled your whole heart with love towards them. You're still missing something. There's still some negative images or thoughts you've heard from them that you're not willing to replace. You're not willing to change and convert and conform. So what I would suggest to live in the end is to go back and say, I remember when. And if there's anything negative that comes your way, take it, use perception and flip it and say, I am appreciating this now. Through your appreciation, remember, gratitude, you receive it. Because you're doing something that that third party is not doing right now. The desire came upon you to be back with your SP because that person is ready to give them up. Don't be afraid. Why would you be afraid to love? Why would you be afraid to be loved? That third party is ready to give it away. Watch my previous video where I talked about Joseph Murphy, how he put himself in the place of receiving. And so I want you to think about it in this way. Because you have a desire, it's already been given. That means this energy already knows the person that's ready to let it go. They are not appreciating it, right? Because the person that thinks that they don't have, right, they're not going to have. And the person that has more will be given. And more means you appreciate, you bring more value, you lift it up. You lift it up. And so lift up your SP. I know we think about, well, we put them on a pedestal. I'm going to bring this again. Have we really? Have we really put them on a pedestal? No, I think it's a misconception. We think that our burning desire puts them on a pedestal. No, it's saying put them on a pedestal. Begin to appreciate them. Now, that's going to cause you to think twice about an SP. It's going to cause you to look at your heart and say, do I really love them? Do I really want them back because I love them? Or I want them back because I'm the one that has a void in the heart and want him to fill it up? There's many ways to skin a cat. There's many ways we can look at this. But the bottom line is this: to him that he has, more will be given. So that means the more you appreciate, the more will be given to you to appreciate. And if you have now watched a video of mine, and I give out more of these personal stories in my program, but this one is on one of these videos. I talked about this particular day. I was drinking a cup of tea, and the cup of tea is so beautiful. It had cherries on it and butterflies, and no, I think it was the cup with the birds and the butterflies. And I began to appreciate it. I would say out loud, look at this. It's like I've never seen it before. And I drank tea out of it before, but I developed a liking. I began to look at the cup and say, that's a beautiful cup. I would move around the house the next day, next week. I would say, you know what, that's a beautiful cup. I began to appreciate it because I was given it energy. And this particular day, I was so full of gratitude, and I kept admiring like never before. You see, these cups were not mine. But it took a few months, and that very person that owned the cups said, you know what? You like these cups so much, I'm going to give them to you. It was an exchange of energy. Because I put energy into it, it became to life. They became part of me. They were part of me. What you appreciate is already part of you. So that means it can't be taken away. That means your SP will not be taken away. And if they were taken away, where they left you, it's because they did not feel appreciated. And so if you want something, begin to appreciate it right now. Don't assume that if you give them their right value, it means that you're lowering yourself in value. No. Remember, you have the authority and the power to change anything. You have the power to let them go again, and you have the power to take them back. Okay? Remember, and I don't know why I'm saying that, but Pilate said to Jesus, I have the power to release you or to put you in prison. And Jesus says, unless it was given to you from above, you don't have any power over me. What he was saying is, if you have not released it from the mind, if you don't know how to do that from the mind, you have no power over me. Unless it's given to you, meaning unless you're aware of who you are and how your mind operates. And so in the same way, when you know that you have the power to let go of your SP and then bring them back, you are already above them. They're never above you. So don't ever assume that you put them on a pedestal, or that you did, or that you are. No. You are above. Be happy that your name, be happy meaning that the meaning of who you are, your identity, be happy. Because of this identity and this power that you have, this understanding that you can create and destroy, you can kill and make alive. That's your identity. How can anybody go above that? How can anybody take that power away from you if you know you can kill and make alive? You can bring them in and let them go. Nobody's above that. How can you say, I put them on a pedestal? The way you put them up there, you bring them down. But truly, is it you putting them on a pedestal? You cannot put anybody above God. That means nobody can go above you. Nobody, unless you let them there. But it's impossible. None is above me. None is below me. There's no such thing of you putting them on a pedestal. So understand that to live in the end is to start to appreciate, to start going back and saying, I remember when, and begin to allow yourself to those light bulbs that go off in your mind. I remember when he did that. I remember when she said that. I remember when they hugged me. I remember when they loved me. And if you're lacking those light bulbs, if those light bulbs don't go in your mind as many as you need, then ask yourself, am I willing to recreate this person? Many times people say it's not worth going back to your SB. Why? Because there's not many lights going off in your mind. It's not satisfaction. It's not satisfactory. Okay? So judge yourself correctly. Analyze yourself. Sometimes it's worth letting them go. Sometimes it's worth working on them. Only you make that decision. Okay? But there's none above you and there's none below you. So how do you live in the end? Doing all this process. To recreate someone is to attach to them other qualities and traits of character. So you can recreate these new identities in them, or a new identity in them. You can. Are you willing to do the work? Are you willing to be persistent? Meaning, are you willing in the time when the negative thought comes in and says, I don't know, this takes too much, this is too long, I'm not seeing anything moving. Are you willing to fight for what you want? That's what it means. Are you willing to put in that work? And if you're willing, your love is strong. Okay? So nobody can take away from you. But as Neville said before, you cannot commit to something that you don't love. So if you find yourself struggling and working hard, it's because you don't love it. You can't commit to recreate them if you don't love them. So that should be a sign right there. You know what? It's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm not loving them enough. If your desire is not burning inside of you, then stop knocking at a door that you yourself have closed. All right? So check yourself. Test yourself and find out where you're at. Okay? Only you know if you should bring the SV back or not. I can't tell you you should. I can't tell you you shouldn't. But I can help you, bring you the awareness, open up your mind and understanding to try to figure yourself out. Okay? I don't know what to do. I really don't know if I love him or not. I don't know if I love her or not. Okay, well, I just exposed you to your mind and how it operates, and now you decide. Stop struggling living in the end, when in fact you should get some feedback and see if you really want that. Because if you're struggling to live in the end, it could be that you probably don't truly want it. You want it for the wrong motives. You want him or her for the wrong motives. And so begin to check yourself. That means you have a deeper desire that counteracts with this one that you think you have. There's a deeper desire in there. You know very well that maybe this guy or woman is not exactly what you want. And so dig deeper. Find out what else is it in there that you would rather have instead. And then live in that end. Meaning manifest someone new. But again, nobody can tell you what to do because only your heart knows, and you are here to experience the desires of your heart, not my heart. Not my heart. So, how do you live in the end? If you cannot commit to something, that means you can't commit to living in the end if you don't love that end. But guess what? Everybody is redeemable. Everybody will be redeemed. So either you redeem him or her, or someone else will redeem him or her. Here's what I want to bring you to your attention. If you don't appreciate them enough to do the work to redeem them, to bring them back, someone will. Meaning, if you don't appreciate them enough, remember, you're the one that gives them away, and someone else on the other side of the planet is ready to receive them. Okay? So, Are you willing to love and appreciate? Because that's what it's saying. Or are you willing to release it, meaning let it go and say, no, I'm not doing the work. Please, someone else come in and receive them. Okay? Meaning someone else that sees the value in them. Meaning, are you willing to see what's in them? Are you willing to recreate them? Because they already are anyway. You're just not seeing it. But someone else around the world sees them like that. And so it's a matter of, okay, do I give or receive? What am I doing? Am I saying no, go? Or am I saying, please come in? And then you welcome them in. That's living in the end. You welcome them in by looking and appreciating them inwardly. Through imaginal acts, through seeing yourself in different places, having them hold you at night, being on the boat, doing this and doing that. Do you see that smile on their face? Do you see your smile? Okay? So, that's all I wanted to say. Please share, like, and subscribe. And if you want to enter into the program, we have 4 modules, 2 bonuses at the end. We build the foundation for life, meaning this understanding comes to you. How should I put this? In all I get and get understanding. So in the program, I show you how to grab onto the understanding behind everything you hear. And when I ask you to say certain affirmations, I'm asking you to focus on the understanding behind it, because it's the understanding that you need when you're in time of trouble. An understanding will come to you and save you. Okay? And I show you how to grab onto the understanding, meaning the meaning, because we create in the image and nature or meaning. And so if you attach the right meaning behind every affirmation, you are going to manifest correctly. You are going to see the right way in every situation. Your awareness will increase. When you have understanding, your awareness increases. Awareness or understanding. And so through my program, I show you how to grab onto the understanding, meaning how to become aware and always be on top of your circumstances, always be on top of your world. Okay, so if you're interested, you can check out the program. I'm going to drop a link below. And that's it. I will see you in the next video. Bye now.